What's up, lads and ladettes? How are we all doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastically well. So, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about basically how you make PED, hunting, what kind of goes into it. At least from, in my opinion, from what I've read, my own experiences. Your experience might differ, but I'm going to go and I'm going to explain basically the standard stuff. Okay, so first, how exactly do you make PED hunting? Well, you need to hunt things that have higher markup loot on them. These could be limited items or unlimited items, so they could be, high, like, expensive equipment that's unlimited, such as whips from the Noosals on Arcadia, or amplifiers such as the A101s or A105s, things like that. And there's a whole bunch of other different things that you can loot and get, but you know, that's sort of the basic stuff. Or you can get high markup items that are materials, such as you can get the tiering components, you can get paint cans, you can get extractors, you can get different materials like that, and also you can get high markup limited items, such as this Maulod graduate that you can get on Toulon. These have a market value of above 200% at the moment, which is very cool. And their reason behind that is the fact that it is a incredibly high efficiency weapon, which plays into loot and all that sort of stuff. So that's kind of the skinny on how you're supposed to do it. And you might be thinking, okay, so I got to go after high markup items. How exactly do I do that? Well, you need to do your research. The first spot you should go for your research is the auctioneer. Okay? You should go to the auctioneer and you should look at different things. Okay, so let's go and let's look at components. Oh, let's close components. Okay? Components, there's a lot of different stuff. But let's look at enhancer components and we'll go to tier components. Because I think tiering components are probably the easiest that you'll be able to reliably obtain and then sell. So once you get to this, you want to go to orders to see if there's anyone looking for orders. And you want to go by, you want to order it by max markup. So now that you've done that, you can have a look and we can see that there's someone wanting 2200 tier 4 components with a max markup of 530%. Now what you want to do is you want to have a look at this and go, okay, is that close to what I can get selling it on the auction house? You know, what is that pretty close to the market value? You can look at this and we can kind of see from this that per month, this is for at least this month, this is pretty close to market value. So if you wanted to, you can go out and you can hunt things that have tier 4 components, and you can hunt them and then you can sell them, and you can reliably sell them to orders. Another one down here, a tier 2 component. Someone wants 2237 of these guys, and they want to buy them at 210%. Is that close to what it's selling for? We can have a look and we can see that it's pretty much bang on for the month. You know? And we can kind of get a grasp of how much these things cost. From the decade to the year. And of course now we've got the month. So this could be a reliable source. Depending on your level, you might choose to go after tier 4 components, or you might choose to go after tier 2 components, or any other piece of thing on here. And you can pretty much go along and you can go, okay, what about materials? It's like, oh, animal oils. Are there orders for animal oils? And we can see that there's orders for animal muscle oil, eye oil. The highest one is brain oil. Brain oil usually sells for 130%. So you know you'll be losing a little tiny bit on that one. Well, actually, 10% is quite a bit. So you could be losing a substantial amount on that, depending on how much you sell. These have a decent amount of markup, decent value per one anyway, so really depends on what you decide to do. So you can go through a lot of different stuff, and you can pick stuff. Now you might be thinking, okay, well, how do I go about figuring out what ones I should go after and what mobs I should hunt? Okay, you got to take into account your equipment, and you got to take into account your level, okay? You got to figure out what sort of damage that you're going to be doing, okay? So I'm going to assume that you don't have any fancy equipment. I'm going to assume that you don't have any rings on you that increase your critical rate and all that sort of jazz. I'm going to assume that you don't have that. I'm going to assume that you're using low-level equipment, okay? So that's what we're going to assume for this video. So we're going to want to figure out, okay, are there any mobs of a low level that drop tier 4 components? You also need to figure out what planet you're on, okay? But let's have a look. And what you want to do is you want to utilize this website called Entropia Wiki, okay? And I've already loaded this one up with the tier 2 components. And you can have a look and go, okay, well, I'm personally on Calypso, so I can have a look, and we can look at the creatures, and we can look at the frequency. And I can see that, tier 2 components apparently drop from young Exarosaurs, and they also drop from mature Dicobas. Well, let's pull up these two things. So it looks like the Exarosaur, it's uncommon, where the Dicoba is common. So from that, we might decide to go after Dicobas. So what level, what health does the mature Dicobas have? They have 70. Okay, what else drops from these guys? So we can have a look, and we can see that orange paint can drops, Nova fragments can drop, regen chips can drop. We'll just click on all. Ba-ba-da-ba-doo. Let that load up for a sec. Okay, and we can see that some other stuff has dropped in the past. Pixie has apparently dropped, Pixie armor has apparently dropped from matures, which is good. And there's a few other bits and bobs that we can possibly sell. And whatever you don't sell, or whatever you feel like you can't sell, you can always turn it into nanocubes. I'll go over that in a future video. So we can have a look at this and go, okay, so the matures, 70 health, and they drop some decent stuff. If we go over to the Exarosaurs, the Exarosaur young is a little bit less health, but as we can see here, there's not as much by way of various higher markup items, as opposed to the Dicobas, which have things like Nova fragments and paint cans. And if you're wondering, we can have a look. We can go... where are they? Let's go... Nova. We can have a look at how much this sells for. And per K, they sell for about 2 PED per K, which isn't too bad. And for orange paint cans, are there any orders on orange paint cans? Not at the minute. We can have a look at the orange paint cans. And for the month, the orange paint cans have been selling for we're gonna even this out, and we're gonna say about 200%. So there is 2 items that are really decent markup that you could sell. So, which one would you pick? I would personally pick the Dicoba to go and hunt. So that is essentially how I go about figuring out what to hunt to make some PED in Entropia Universe. But anyway, I'm going to be leaving it there. If you enjoyed the video, if you have anything that you want to add to the video, feel free to leave it down in the comment section below. And I will be going over how equipment affects your loot returns in a future video. That will probably be out in a couple of days. And I'm going to go over just some of the other sort of basic stuff for some of you new players, and just as a little bit of a refresher as well. So be sure to utilize those two things. Make sure you're utilizing not just the auction house, but look at the orders as well. Like, for instance, if we were to go to paint cans, are there any paint cans that are currently for order? Nope. What about nano cubes? Yeah, people want nano cubes. That's one thing that you can do, is you can turn things into nano cubes. Animal oils, we already looked at that. Yeah, we got some food. This is juices. And there's other things that you can find, like fruit on the floor. And that fruit comes from... where the heck is it? Where is the fruit? Natural materials? Or is it... it's not miscellaneous items. Actually, it's... no, it is in... is it food? Yeah. So you got different fruit that drops, like just on the floor, and you can sell them for quite a hefty chunk, which is pretty cool. Anyway, do that. Utilize the auction house. Utilize the Entropia wiki. Utilize all of that stuff, and just keep at it. And remember, when it comes to hunting in Entropia Universe, you need to get to your average return before you can really make much of anything. You need to get to your average return, which involves killing a lot of mobs. Okay, you can't just kill one or two creatures and then get to your average and then remain at your average. You need to kill lots and lots and lots. You know, several hundred and several thousand to get to your average TT return, and then you can look at how much PED you've made on markup, if at all, depending on what you're hunting, and depending on RNG, because that also plays a role. But I'll talk about that in a little bit more detail when we go over the equipment and how equipment can affect your loot return, both TT and also the loot variation. Anyway, you'll take care, stay safe. Thank you for putting up with me today. I am a little bit sick, so I sound a little bit flat, so I apologize for that. But you'll take care, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next one.